Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vol, and in this video we're comparing 3D scanning to AI generation. Okay, I know, I've said the word AI, which means everyone has to get very angry and start posting things in the comments. But the aim of this video is to compare 3D scanning, a tool, to the use of AI for some form of generation from photos. So again, another tool. It's just hardware versus software. And in many ways, this is exactly the same as photogrammetry is. It's just going to use less photographs and a different process. And I think this is something important to consider and look at. I use 3D scanners a lot, but it's not something that everyone can afford to purchase. They're not the cheapest piece of equipment out there, though we're going to be using some scanners from RevoPoint, and they're very reasonably priced for what they do. I think they're absolutely fantastic. But I just want to make sure that we're clear that no creative processes were harmed in the making of this video. In fact, when I get the results of this, I'm hoping that it's going to potentially open up some creative methodologies for people that before couldn't use them. Now, I've specifically picked Hitem 3D to use for this comparison. One, because they're focused on creating 3D printable models, but there's actually two other reasons which I'll talk through as we go through this. And just so you know, I intend this to be a critique of both technologies, having a look at the positives and negatives of them comparatively to each other. So let's begin, and we're going to start with this cute toy bunny thing. I thought this was an interesting place to start. It has some really interesting textures to it and some potential challenges for both technologies. We'll start by 3D scanning this, and I'm using the Pop 3 Plus from RevoPoint, which I'd say is my 3D scanner of choice for things that are about this size. It's also eye safe, so you can use it for scanning people and faces, which is great, and is just generally designed for this sort of medium-sized object. Now, as you can see, I've got the bunny on a turntable, and we're going to have to do 2 rounds of this. We can't scan it all in one go, so I'm scanning the top half, and I'm going to move the scanner manually to the bottom half and scan that as well, and doing just a little bit over the ears to check. Now, just in terms of my expectations here, there's some difficult elements of this. Firstly, there are 2 black eye patches and a black cross on the nose, and 3D scanners don't typically like black objects, though the Pop 3 Plus is pretty good for that. There are also some undercuts that I can't really get to, for example underneath the arms and between the ears, which are very close to each other. And I can't really get between those because I can't move this object around. It's a soft object and it would change the shape of it, and that would be a hindrance when 3D scanning. You've got to keep everything relatively in the same place. So all in all, I'm probably expecting Hitem 3D, the AI software, to potentially do a better job of this. But it's definitely got some challenges for that as well. We'll come to that in a second. Now, while I showed you the scan of that in real time, I'm going to fast forward through the processing just to speed things up. I don't think you really need to see that, and I've done previous videos using the RevoPoint software. But it's all fairly easy. It's going to fill in the holes, and we did mention that there's going to be some gaps underneath the arms that do need to be filled in. So here is our end result, and actually the eyes and the nose in black came out very well, but as you can see, the interpretation of the software has lost some of the detailing underneath the arms, where we've got these ridges that are part of the bunny. The ears have come out really nicely, though they are joined together, again something that we expected to potentially happen. But other than that, I'd say the detailing on this is pretty good. I'd be very happy with a 3D print of this, and especially shrinking it down. While we've lost that detail underneath the arms, I don't think anything here would be noticeable and particularly of concern. So let's compare this to Hitem 3D. And the first thing that I want to point out, which really drew me to this, is that we have a multi-view option for this. And that's going to solve one of the massive issues that I've had with AI generation in the past, where it tries to interpret and guess everything from one photograph. We're going to put in 4 photos from 4 different angles: the front, the back, the left and the right. We're going to hit generate, and this is going to use some of our credits. This is our effective currency. I'll talk about pricing in a little bit when we compare it to the 3D scanners. And then we'll get placed in a queue, and then we'll start processing. Now here comes my first assumption that was wrong. I'd assumed, compared to getting out the 3D scanner, setting everything up, scanning and putting it away, that using Hitem 3D would be faster. It was 4 photos, upload them and go. But actually, this turned out to be a much slower process. I pretty heavily sped this up, and the whole process going from click to 3D model being generated actually took just under 20 minutes. It was 19 minutes and 40 something seconds. Now, how you measure that time is kind of up to you, because it was, well, just click and forget. I went away and started doing some other things and then came back to check every so often. So it's not like it was using up my time, but if you want something in a rush, this probably isn't the option for you. Though then again, compared to 3D scanning, you don't need a table and a massive setup, you're just taking some quick photos. Positives and negatives that you just need to consider with what is best for you. And here comes our result. Now, I actually think this was pretty impressive, though I'll go through a couple of different iterations of this, but there were some interesting choices. First, the AI got rid of the label, the tag at the back of the rabbit. Now, actually, for the 3D scanner, this causes a lot of issues when you look at files for very thin parts, and often they need to be removed. So for me, I think this is a great positive, but some of the texturing on this just does feel off. All of the ridges on the rabbit originally are the same thickness, and that's definitely not true of this generative model. Now, one thing I found really interesting was that the cable that went to the rotating platform, and I did have this on the rotating platform turning around, you can see this in the photos. Hitem 3D doesn't seem to have had an issue with that. It's moved that to one side, despite the fact that compared to where the bunny is, because the bunny was rotating, it's on a different side each time. So that's really, really good in terms of it coming up with a solution to a problem. However, you'll see from this iteration that while we've got the nose and one eye, we're missing the other eye. I'm not quite sure how it's decided on that. But again, some of the other textures like the seams are absolutely fantastic, and even though it couldn't see it, it's added in the texture underneath the arms of the rabbit, and the ears look really nice as well, though they have been joined together from the looks of it. Now, for each set of photos you upload, you do get some free retries with this. So I actually did this 2 extra times, and each time I had a look at what the best results were. Now, each time it did take, again, approximately 20 minutes to do this. So this is 60 minutes worth of time going into 3 different iterations here. Again, it's very click and forget, but it's not a quick process. But you then get to pick which one you prefer. I'm just going to show you the best of the results next. Now, this was actually the 3rd iteration that I came up with, and I think this is very good. It's got much more even ridges, so it's done a much better job there. It seems much closer to what we actually had. It's got all of the eyes, the nose, and we still have that cabling solution that seems to have worked so well. I think this is a very good reproduction, and again, we've got rid of that problem with the label at the back. I will say some of the ridges aren't perfect, they seem to disappear and reappear at places, but it's pretty rare that that's going on, and where it's being interpreted from behind a foot, so you can actually see this, and if I took the photo from a different angle, it might have actually got this right. Now bear in mind at this point I've only done this off the photos and one go because of the free tries. We need to bear that in mind when looking at the pricing, and comparing that to how much our 3D scanner costs. But just a hint before we even get there, if you're going to use this rarely, you're not going to be scanning things a lot, this is going to work out much, much, much cheaper than the 3D scanner for what I consider pretty comparable results. Now just to show this, the files are downloadable in a variety of formats, or you can actually send this straight to some 3D printing software, which is pretty nice. So that's very helpful. The other thing you can do, which I didn't realise until a little bit later, is that when you go into full screen mode and you say that you like or dislike something, you can say why you like or disliked it. However, having done this several times, this doesn't seem to influence Hitem 3D's next iteration. I really wish it had a way of taking into account what you've said in the feedback as it creates the new model. That would have saved a lot of time being able to write, it's missing an eye and the ridges aren't equal, and then it fixing it. I also thought it'd be fun to have a look at these printed out so we can get an idea of what the 2 methods show. So this is the one where we 3D scanned it, and you can see we've got the texturing all really nice, and you can see a lot of the folds there that have happened in and around sort of underneath its jaw. We've got that label that we had seen in the scan, so really nice and very thin, so great that the scanner could pick that up but still add some body to it. So that came out very nicely. I was actually surprised at how well that printed. And generally everything is, well, very realistic. It's a real scan, and we've got the eyes that are slight indents, whereas on our copy from Hitem 3D, the eyes are a bit more exaggerated, as are each of the folds. Now, this actually is quite positive in comparison, having things a little bit more exaggerated. You can see here it does make them easier to see. So everything's just a little bit more stylized, but we've still got those really nice ridges, and it's been able to successfully suggest where we couldn't actually see them at the bottom of the feet and at the bottom of the arms, so where we couldn't actually reach with the 3D scanner. And then finally the seam lines, again a bit more exaggerated, are a little bit easier to see, but then less subtle. It depends what you're going to want with this and what you think is preferable. As I said before, both really positive outcomes, but for different reasons. Next up, I just grabbed the smallest model I could find that was nearby on my workbench, and this is a plastic model Terminator, just the torso, legs and head, and I've been using this to model some additional parts on. That's what I mostly 3D scan for. I create add-on parts for existing models. Now, speeding through the process here, this was once again 3D scanned, but this time using the Mini 2 from RevoPoint. Now at this point this is slightly an unfair test because I would normally have sprayed this model a white colour, but I'm a bit limited on wanting to use this model later and not wanting to spray it, but that would give a better 3D scan. But something that's this small is challenging for any 3D scanner. Though there is a chance that going at this with something like the Revo Metro X or Metro Y would actually give some more detailed results. I am planning a video testing out a variety of scanners to see what gives the best results on tiny models, so if you're interested in that and not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so you can see when that video's out. And this is the final model, pretty good considering the size of this. This is a small miniature, and it's not really what 3D scanners are designed to scan. They want to scan things bigger than this. But we can make out all of the major details, and most importantly for me, it's going to have the right sizing so that I can create the add-on parts that I need and use this as a base to work off of. But there are definitely some elements that might not be what you want if you're looking to scan a miniature. If you're looking to create an exact replica or a close replica, this is not what you're going to want. It softens some of the details, and a lot of the detailing between different parts is missing. They're just too small for the scanner to read. In some instances, they're well under 0.5 millimeter in size. So confusingly, this is simultaneously more accurate, but also less accurate depending on the way you're looking at this. Now let's compare this to the Hitem 3D model. Again, this is the third iteration of this, which means it did take some time. However, what's interesting about this is because it's from a photo, there's no concept of size, Hitem 3D doesn't have any limitations on the amount of detail it's getting as long as your photo is good enough. And we can really see this here with it making out every single little rivet and little line of detail. Now those details aren't all perfectly accurate. For example, the power unit at the back is not really the way it looks on the model. I don't know how it's come up with that. And the cabling on the abdomen is, well, not particularly equal, but again, importantly, the details are actually there compared to the 3D scan, where you can just make out the general shape. All in all, when people talk about 3D scanning models, I imagine that this is more what they were hoping that they would come out with. Pretty crisp details, any errors are relatively fixable, and you've got some very nice lines. Like, look at the detailing on the armour and the detailing on the edge of the plates. It's really crisp. Now, despite this looking better, I will say for me, this is actually the less usable model because it's not taking note of particular sizes and exactly perfect curves and shape compared to the actual model. So again, we need to bear in mind your purpose on what you want these models for. But what I want a model for and what you want a model for is potentially very different. So hopefully this is helping you to make up your mind and potentially give something a try. Now I did just want to end on something else in Hitem 3D's arsenal, which I didn't actually know was here to begin with and found it a bit by accident and then got quite excited about it because this is really good stuff. There is an option that you can do called segmentation. And what that is going to do is take your 3D generated model and break it up into individual components. And this is the result of this. Each one of these different colours is a different individual model. You can see the parts on the right hand side, and you can select which bits you want and potentially merge several bits together. For example, you could put all of the lower leg together if you wanted to, along with the foot, or leave them separately. So in this instance, you can see me cutting off the base. It's just as simple as a click. And if I then bring this into Blender, you can see what I've got here. And what's great is you've got all of these parts on the side, and I can take individual elements of this and just say, well, I want this bit for my model. Now, for those people that don't like necessarily modelling from scratch, but prefer to do things like kit bashing 3D models together, I see people doing that a lot. This has got such massive potential. Now, there is something that Hitem 3D needs to fix about this, and if they do this, I think they're onto a massive winner. And that is that at the moment, this does literally cut apart the model on the joins without creating manifold geometry from each of the individual bits. You can see here that this is hollow. And that is going to cause some problems if you're wanting to boolean different bits together. For example, if I just wanted to have, let's say, this part of the armor panel, that would be great, but this is not going to be very usable for modelling because it's not one single part, or at least one solid part. What I'd want is this to all be joined together so that this is one object. Now that is definitely something we can do in Blender, but I get a lot of people asking, well, how can I get this armor panel without an icon on it? And the idea that we could use Hitem 3D to take some photos and then maybe have Hitem 3D separate out the part that is, let's say, an icon on the front, for example, maybe it would be this belt, and then us be able to easily remove that and then put something else in its place is pretty exciting. This is really cool. They've got a little bit of work to do on this, in my opinion, to make this solid, as I say, but this is great. So as I say, for those people that aren't into modelling everything from scratch, but like bringing together different parts of 3D models to create something new, this should really allow your imagination to run riot. Lastly, I thought I'd take a few photos of something a bit different and use these legs from a sentry turret. Now, this was quite an interesting one, and again, this is the best of the 3 results, and it is pretty good looking. But actually, I'm a little bit more concerned about this. So we get these objects that aren't quite, well, symmetrical. And we get certain legs that look really good. So I've got one here, and that one's okay. But then some of them are a little bit off. And even the ones that are quite good aren't quite symmetrical where they should be. And you get some differences in detail. So again, this was the 3rd try on this one. I did write down each time that the object wasn't symmetrical and it returned a different version that also wasn't symmetrical. So maybe for things like vehicles or other things that are, well, symmetrical, this isn't going to be maybe the best choice. Now, obviously, if we had one good leg, I could copy that across and make it symmetrical, but I think all of them are a little bit wonky. And if we have a look at some of the other ones that I've made, so I'll just go to my history where we can see these. So you can see we've got 3 versions of this, and each time it's got something that's, well, this one's even more wonky. So yeah, I think we've got some very good options here for things that are more organic, or this stuffed toy, or models that are in slightly different positions. But for some reason, this one definitely had some difficulties, possibly because it's a repeated pattern and you need all the legs to be exactly the same length. So I think that one's quite interesting, just as something that hasn't worked quite as well, whereas the other 2 have turned out, I would say, really well. So potentially something again for Hitem 3D to work on. And with all this AI technology, we've got to remember, this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only getting better from here on out. Now this is the pricing for Hitem 3D, and I do want to point out that you can have a go at this for free. I'm not sure if this is 100 credits all in, or you get 100 free credits a month. It's not very clear about this, and I think anything you generate might be put up online, because it doesn't say that assets are private and yours. So be aware of that when you start trying this out. For the Pro version, it's $19.90 a month, or your first month is half price, and that gives you 1,000 credits a month. Now for me, each of those generations used, I think it was 70 or 75 credits, so you can do the maths on that on what you're able to do. But like I say, if this is a one-off project, definitely cheaper than a 3D scanner. But even if this isn't a one-off project, you've seen the results and what this will end up with. There's some really good arguments for using this over a 3D scanner anyway, but then there's also arguments for using a 3D scanner over this. You're going to need to make a decision on what the end goal is for your 3D designs. Now, if you have watched this all the way through, I just want to say thank you very much. I hope you found this as interesting as I did playing around with this. And while Hitem 3D isn't particularly for me, I did think this was an important video to put out there, as I imagine for a lot of people this is exactly what they're looking for. For transparency, I was given some credits to try this out by Hitem 3D for free. And if you don't think I've given a fair or critical review of both technologies, again, feel free to say in the comments section. As long as you're polite and the conversation's constructive, that's exactly what the comments section is for. But I think it's important to keep covering these technologies, and I just find them interesting, and in the end, that's what this channel's for, finding some interesting options for people that want to 3D design or bring their ideas to life in some way or form. Hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.